Welcome everybody. I think we are online. 9:30 p.m. David and Blani are here. Hope you are too. Hope you have your wine. Welcome guys to Wine at 9:30. We have a very cool subject for tonight, which is the differences between the American dream and the Polish dream. I'm actually still trying to establish if there is something like a Polish dream, something specific, because that term American dream has been alive and popular and kind of household name for a long time. I'm not sure if Polish people really had their like very specific dream, but I think maybe they did. We just haven't really coined the term.
I want to talk about that more with you, but I think we should talk about nothing for right now because there's 0 people watching.
No, not right now. We can talk about Mother's Day. And
Okay.
Happy Mother's Day to all mothers out
Happy
there.
Mother's Day.
Hope you guys had a great one. How was yours?
It was a great one.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Tell me about your Mother's Day.
We went to Sheridan's soccer game, and she gave me a flower, and then we had brunch at Brio.
I gave you a flower.
I haven't gotten to that part.
Oh.
I'm going in sequential
Okay.
order. And then we had brunch at Brio. Then we went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which I'll get back to. And then we came home, and Sheridan and I made these, we laid out our plans for that stepping stone mosaic that we're going to finish tomorrow because I didn't want to do all that concrete mixing.
So, art project.
So what did you think about, and then David gave me flowers. Thank you, David.
We don't really, give flowers to non-our mothers for Mother's Day in Poland. We give flowers to our mothers only, but it's different here. So here we go. Let me adjust this a little bit to make sure we just do this the right way today. We're testing new audio setup and new video setup. We have 2 mirrorless cameras for today.
Oh,
and
God,
this one
that
is
really close.
a little low. Here
Why
we
is
go.
it just my face?
Because your face is prettier.
No, it can't just be my face. It has to
Sure
be
it
both
can.
of our face.
Whenever you'll be in a monologue, I'm gonna switch to this camera.
What? Is this a super zoomed in lens or something?
No.
Well, then zoom it out.
If it was super zoomed in, it would be showing only your eye.
That was super zoomed in. Can you not zoom it out?
I don't think so. Look,
oh my God.
This looks great. You're a talk show star now. People want to see your pretty face.
I would have done more makeup if I realized I was going to be that close.
Meredith is here with us.
Hi, Meredith.
How are you tonight, Meredith? Thank you for joining.
Happy Mother's Day to you, too. So thank you very much for that.
Meredith, do you hear audio delay today? Because we're testing new audio equipment, and I was working on this for like 45 minutes here to make sure there's no audio delay, and I think I fixed it, but there's no other test than asking you guys. So are we synced? Is the audio still delayed, or are we in sync? This is important. Please tell us. All right, so you said you would get back to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. What did you think about it?
I liked it. I was positively surprised.
Why were you surprised?
It was better than expected.
What did you expect? A crappy movie?
No, not crappy movie, but the first one. I mean,
You didn't
wasn't.
like the first one?
I liked it, but I wasn't really the fan of that story and all these heroes before I saw the first movie.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of any of these.
I've
before.
heard about
really?
Spider-Man and Iron Man and
not
Superman and Star Wars and all that stuff, but Guardians of the Galaxy, I was never familiar with the story or the characters or anything, and if you see it for the first time out of the blue, you're like,
I wasn't.
Then you get into it,
But
the second one was, I have to say, I left more impressed than I thought.
That's interesting though, because most movies you don't know about the people that are in the movie. You learn about the people as you're watching the movie.
Yeah, but this is very specific, I am Groot.
But that was adorable.
Today, yeah, it was.
You didn't like him in the
No, I liked him. I didn't say I didn't like it,
Mhm.
but you know,
He was one of my favorite parts of the other movie,
it's not my number one movie of all times.
which
But
is
it was
Terminator
good.
2.
Of course. I mean, there's no doubt. Simon says, "Hello, Simon. Yes, okay." Meredith says, "Looks and sounds good. I think we're good to go. We're in sync. That's wonderful."
Hi, Simon.
On my phone, so off a little. It's off on the phone? I'm trying to make a sad face.
Should we make very dramatic mouth movements so she can really check the syncing?
Now Meredith says we liked it, which very strange, which I like. Second, not as good, but very good villain.
Huh. I liked both of them equally, and I do like that it's strange.
I liked second more than the first, but everybody has their own impressions.
There's definitely going to be a third because the end said to be continued, so
Yeah.
that can be the tiebreaker.
And it's funny how every Marvel Marvel Universe movie now ends with like multiple after the credits added shots. So I think a lot of people left the theater about 15 minutes before the movie was really over because they kept coming back with another. You know how our vlog always ends with the number of the episode, and then there's like something funny or something curious towards the end. So this happened like 4 times at the end of that movie. Simon says, "Hi from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is in the house."
Where in Puerto Rico are you from? Because we went to, where was that place?
San Juan.
But it was, no. The place where Gladys wasn't San Juan. It was some little town. Anyway, I was going to tell him about Gladys and that he should go visit that restaurant.
Right.
But we have to know the name of the town. It was the Conquistador Resort.
La Conquistador.
Yeah, so I could look up the name of the town.
Look it up. The best brunch breakfast place in that area, definitely, because not only we said that, a lot of people confirmed it, and we went there twice during our few days stay, and it was amazing.
Fajardo.
He says Bayaman.
Oh, that's where he's
from. Oh, that's where he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Meredith says, like the line, "I'm freaking Mary Poppins."
Yeah.
That was funny.
Bayaman to Fajardo. I'm going to see.
Let's try to define what American Dream is. What was American Dream to you guys over the years? What does it mean? And what do you think it means?
Well, I always thought it was about stuff. And then when we started talking about this, it actually has a very specific definition that is very much American in nature, but it's not about stuff at all. You know, I always thought the American Dream was something like 2.5 children with a picket fence around your large house and a dog and, you know, a lawn. I always thought that's what it was, but whenever I looked it up on Wikipedia, specifically the American Dream
is... It was the prosperity, right? The American opportunity.
Opportunity and prosperity through hard work, determination, and initiative. So it's not necessarily about stuff, even though I think that's what most people think it is. It's more about the American dream that we can attain success based on our own work ethic, and
it's achieving certain standard by being at the right time at the right moment and using the opportunity. This was always the land of opportunity. So
wait, go back to this comment.
Try to.
Hi, Danny man, and thank
Danny
you for the Mother's Day wishes.
I am Groot.
I love Danny. Groot. I want a little Groot plant.
Groot was awesome. Yes, he was. Happy Mother's Day, Blondie. Hi, guys. Groot was incredibly cute, and I'm glad nothing bad happened to him because I was kind of afraid all the time. But then I thought, they wouldn't hurt the little guy.
Oh, because he was this tiny little baby.
Yeah.
He was like a sproutling.
So cool. I love this scene when he was about to press the wrong button. Very cool.
So, I liked when he was just dancing in the very beginning.
Danny, is there something like a Canadian dream? Or is it all the same here? Is it American dream in both Canada and America?
Like because the Canadian dream is basically similar to the American
dream. Right.
Or
is there something like American dream equals be happy?
I think that's what it is now. I really do think that's what it is now, from what we're reading and the changes in what um, people who are now getting into the workforce and in their like late 20s. It is all about being happy, and it's no more about some set of
So
arbitrary things that you need to have.
right, so millennials,
Mhm.
which is the current young generation, right? According to a few websites, have different American dream now.
Mhm.
They don't aspire to own a giant house anymore because they prefer to live for a rent in an urban environment and for less expenses. So there's high expenses associated with owning a house, taxes, maintenance, all kinds of things that you have to take care of. If you rent, basically you have the monthly rent payment and that's it.
That's what I read. It's about financial security and being debt free, which owning a house is definitely not.
You're
Being
not debt free
debt-free,
for a
no.
long time, and millennials prefer to pay off their student loans. That's the new American dream. The new American dream is to travel more. So millennials put a lot of attention to that, being kind of more free. If you rent, you're also not as tied down as when you own a house, because obviously leaving your house for a longer period of time is no good for any reason, and there's always a worry on your mind. If you're renting, there's basically, there's nothing you have to specifically take care of.
When you were reading this, did you kind of feel like, hey, wait, I'm a millennial? Because I kind of.
I feel like a millennial.
Yeah, I really never felt like a millennial. But when I was reading this, I'm like, that's exactly what Danny Man wrote. To me, I just want to be happy, and it's not about owning a house. I'm very happy living in this house. I don't want to ever have to be kicked out of this house.
I'm very happy making videos.
But geez, most mortgages are 30 minutes. I mean, 30 minutes, 30 years.
30-minute
Yes.
mortgage. Come to us tonight.
Most of them are 30 years. And in 30 years, I'm going to be 65. Do I really want a house that I'm going to have to be paying off till I'm 65?
Yeah, that's kind of always seemed like a super distant goal when you hear about, mortgage being 30 something years.
Yeah.
Kind of
I
crazy
mean,
sounding.
I'll be lucky if I make it to 65.
You'll make it to 65.
So that combined with the fact that a mortgage is just basically causing you to have to do the maintenance on the house and you to be in control and have to keep up with everything. With this, when that branch fell through the roof, what did we do? We called the landlord and they came and fixed it for us. And if this were our house, this would have been yet another expense we had to deal with.
Right. Michael is with us. Hi, Michael. How are you tonight? He says, I think that immigrants to Canada and the States are looking for the same things. It's not really an expression that's heard here as often as I think it is in the States. So that gives us an opportunity to start talking about the Polish dream, because a lot of Polish are immigrants traditionally, have been for many years, and I hope I don't get flamed for this for any Polish people, but I
They
think
do seem to like to flame people who don't agree with them.
so then I'm open to flaming if
Yeah.
anyone wants to flame me. I think the Polish dream used to be simply to better your environment and the conditions of living, because it hasn't been that easy in Poland for an average citizen. So basically, even something like getting your own apartment was not such an easy thing to do. Traditionally, I'm talking about the deep times when we were communist and coming out of the communist times. You would have to basically sign up for an apartment. There was no free open market where you could just buy, a place for yourself. You had to sign up for something like a state-owned list, and then you would wait for 6 years or whatever, and then you would finally get that apartment. It was like a tiny little 2-bedroom. So that situation was always like joked about in Poland.
Is it still that way?
I don't think it's still that way. I think times have changed dramatically for Polish people. Some people in Poland live better than their equivalents here in America, and that's not a secret anymore. People, there's a lot of new businesses, new opportunities. I'm not sure if it's fair to say that Poland is now the land of opportunity, because there's still a lot of obstacles, but it's definitely way better than what it used to be. I'm even thinking about our peers photographers. You can survive in Poland now from doing wedding photography.
You were surprised.
Something
I
that
feel like
20 years ago was ridiculously silly. You went to a studio, stood in front of a background for literally 5 pre-programmed post pictures.
You just learned this basically when we went to Poland.
Right.
When you talked to because I think that you found that unexpected. When we spoke to them and they were like, oh no, we can do that full time without having another job, right? That's what.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn this off for now. Are you still
Okay.
cold?
I'll just sit on my feet.
Because I'm cooking. I'm gonna start like
This
dripping
is the
sweat
American
on live
dream, to be
video.
warm, and the Polish dream is to be cold.
Look at the battery on that camera. It's about to go. Sorry guys, we have a battery problem, so we're gonna switch to this. Aha, I
This
have a
can't just be
second
me.
angle.
No.
Alright, I'll fix it, don't worry. I'm fixing it. Look.
He changes battery twice. What's with this battery?
We obviously
I
have
like that view.
We obviously have a battery problem. But luckily we have the second angle, and now we're showing a lot of our junk in the shed.
Oh God, that's not
Sorry for that.
what you were saying.
Well, this
there.
is live, so you kind of
Yeah.
sometimes you have to react to the live problems, you know. But I got this under control. Look, now I can go with this camera until it dies, and when it dies, I can switch to the other one. So for those who didn't hear the beginning, we're testing new setup with 2 mirrorless cameras now and new audio setup. So I was asking Meredith and Simon in the beginning if the audio sync is okay. Would love to hear from the rest of you if we're really syncing well or is there any problems. Okay, back to the subject.
Meredith said your home fits Blondie's personality very well. I agree. This is my dream home. It
The
would
home
be.
that we're in right now?
Yeah, it is. I mean, there are certain things I would fix, but it is my dream home. The location, the house layout, and everything. Of course, but you already know what I would change. But regardless,
The bathroom.
the bathroom and the kitchen. I mean, there's a few things, but nothing that.
Let's not get into details.
Exactly. That's not about the American dream. I feel very happy in this house as long as we can afford to pay it.
Right.
Which is part of what people were saying has changed about the American dream, financial security, and that's what I want. I do feel like a millennial because I want to travel. I don't want to be tied down to a location. I mean, I like having this location, and I want to have financial security, not necessarily riches, you know. Honestly, when I see those gigantic houses, just yesterday when we were passing through Pennsylvania, we passed by so many gigantic houses in the middle of a field. And I understand that those people love that, and I'm happy for them that they have the house of their dreams. But looking at that, I would never want to live in a gigantic house in the middle of the field. I much prefer a smaller house that's in this beautiful location. To me, it's not about the inside of the house.
I feel like when you can afford that, you can afford a bigger operation and you have help because no one can maintain a gigantic house like that
But
by
to me,
themselves
it's not even
unless
about,
you're ready to become a complete slave to that house.
To me, it's not even about maintaining that house being able to. It's about the environment. So if you live in a house that's in the middle of a field with nothing else around you, no trees, many of those houses had no trees, what are you doing? You're staying inside the whole time.
Most of the time.
And you many of them keep their curtains closed the whole time because what are they going to have a view of? The highway? Because that's where the houses I'm thinking of. I would rather have this view of what we have a view of and a smaller house. You know what I mean? To me, the environment that surrounds a house is more important than the size.
Our view is perfect. You guys all saw it on the vlog many times. The backyard is fantastic, and the sunsets here are out of this world. Danny and Michael say audio sync is perfect on both cameras. Thank you, boys. I'm glad we're reaching Canada in a perfectly synced footage. Live stream. I've been struggling with this for the past few weeks, and finally I got it right today. So
I just have to make sure not to tap that thing. Right?
Yeah, don't tap it.
Okay.
So back to the subject. I was talking about the Polish dream and how has that changed over the years. So right now, I don't think Polish people are struggling super hard about having a place to live anymore or having a certain basic standard of life. Of living. There was several surveys that I read online that were done within the recent years among young people, and there's some interesting results. So first of all, during one of those surveys, they asked young people if they had 3 wishes, what would they wish for? And I'm going to be translating this live now, looking at a Polish website. So, interestingly, 85% of the tested young people had wishes referring to their own self. Isn't that curious? That only 15% of people actually wished for someone else? Their first thought was, what are your three wishes? Then they were all about like improving their own life.
Well, what would your three wishes be? I feel like when people ask
I know what my first wish would be.
What?
I mean, it's obvious. Your big C goes away. So the other two, I would have time to think about. But I thought that was curious that people, 85% of people wish for themselves, and those wishes were better financial standards, better car, better computer, access to a computer or a tablet, or getting a new one. And only number three, was improving global problems like peace in the world, which is very noble and awesome goal. But
to me, that
it's funny that no one gave that as goal number one.
I mean, it seems wonderful, but if you asked me what my dream was, like what my three wishes are, and I said to you, world peace, it just seems so unattainable that it's just, I wouldn't answer that. I just wouldn't answer that because it just seems completely unattainable.
I could tell a joke, but it's a strong one, so I'm gonna refrain from it.
Okay.
Number four was goodness and health for the family. And number 5 was again back to personal wishes, success at school and sports. Then, according to another survey, which was a little different, and it included giving people a certain amount of money. If they had that money available now, what would they spend it on? And the first and most mentioned goal was travel. So Polish people are really willing to travel a lot, but financial barrier is the main problem. Then they want electronics. Then they want improvement of their own education. So they would add to their own education as a number 3 goal, not 1 or 2. And after that, there was a lot of smaller. I
find it interesting that travel is so high because it was the same thing written in American articles about the American dream, that millennials want to travel. And I mean, we want to travel, but I don't feel like, do you feel like that's changed? I kind of feel like that's a new thing. I mean, I think people always wanted to take a trip or take a vacation, but now I feel like people really want to see the world. And do you think that's because of the internet? Like globalization of people from everywhere getting to see what it's like in other places and wanting to experience it for themselves. And also social media, you see all these people traveling. How many people have you seen gone to Iceland lately?
Yes, a lot of people we see on our feed that go to Iceland.
And now I want to go to Iceland.
I absolutely want to go to Iceland.
Because it looks beautiful, yeah. So I wonder if that travel dream is something that's different than it used to be. I feel like it is. I don't think it really used to be. I'm curious what other people who are listening feel that their understanding of the American dream is. Like, what does Meredith feel like?
This is how we travel. You guys know this, right? This was a sort of vlog episode before we started vlogging. And this was a crazy wedding weekend when we shot 2 weddings, and the second one was all in the rain. We were basically in the mud. We weren't vlogging it. This was like pre-vlog. Wow. This was, it was right before we started vlogging. It was like literally maybe 2 weekends. Look at your hair.
Look at all my hair.
Oh.
I want it back.
It's getting back.
Not really.
Yes, it is. You want to show people your hair as it is
It's currently? So messy. I hate my hair right now.
Okay, I'm going to turn this off. We're going to talk about this a little more.
Here's my hair right now. Oh,
check this out. It's so cool. I like messy hair.
It's so boring, and it's all
not boring.
Crazy.
It's awesome that it's coming back.
But on Wednesday, I'm getting a new haircut. It's not much. There's not much there to cut. But it's gonna be colored differently and have a different cut.
I think it's awesome.
And for now, I'll put my hair. I liked my hair better bald than now. I
You
almost
like your hair better bald?
my head. Yes, I
Your
did
head,
that
your head,
style. I
your
liked
head.
the bald style better. I almost am like this close to just shaving
Well,
it
this
off
is the
again.
transitional phase. When it keeps growing, and it's gonna get better every
I mean,
day.
at least I have hair. I am thankful
You
for
can
that.
pull off anything. You always look good. Michael
When
says,
I have a hat
reminds me
on.
of Miss Congeniality when they were doing the onstage interviews. World peace.
A piece of the world.
A piece of the world.
Yeah, I agree with you, Michael. It's to me, it's like it's a wonderful idea, and of course, that would be if there was any realistic way to think that was possible, then I would absolutely wish for it. But it sounds so like Pollyanna. I wish for world peace. It just doesn't sound realistic. I would love to know what Michael and Danny Man feel like their dreams of the perfect life is. Do you think that your dream has changed over the years? Because I definitely think my dream has changed.
I mean, it has. Are you asking me about my three wishes still, or like
No, just
my
like
own
your
American dream?
yes, your own American dream.
Well, right now I want exactly what you want: the financial stability and not having all the stress that we're going through. That's why we have wine at 9 every night.
Yes, this is part of us trying to have financial
We're running
stability.
out, by the way.
Of wine?
Yeah.
So it might be
what are
at
we
9.
What are we gonna do when we run out of wine? Are we stopping the live streaming,
No,
or
we'll just
we're
go,
getting more wine?
We'll just go ... at 9:30.
Corona. Corona at 9:30.
Maybe after our party on the 27th, we'll get some more wine.
Oh,
from
that's
people.
right. We're having a party on the 27th.
Yeah.
Michael and Danny, if you guys want to drive down here from Canada, you're more than invited.
Mhm.
Please, anytime. Anybody who's watching right now.
And if you like to camp, we have a big backyard you can camp in.
Yes. So last thing I kind of wanted to talk about, which is part of the new American dream, I think, is millennials are more prone to minimalism and living small and small house living instead of gigantic house and big American dream living, which we are partially taking part in, because living in the Airstream is absolutely awesome, and we always said it, and we always felt like if we had to, we could make it work.
That's why we try to keep that payment paid even more. This is honestly true. We've talked about this, that if nothing else gets paid, the truck and the Airstream gets paid, because then we at least have a roof over our heads, and we can always just go find a campground.
And then we'll definitely take a long detour through Canada before we get to Western U.S.
Honestly, if Sheridan could just come with us in that way, I mean, it does seem to me a great way to save money. We could live in that Airstream. It's a little cramped for a 10-year-old girl, though, so I wouldn't do that to her.
She's going to be fine.
But when she's 18 and she's going to college in Colorado, I hope, then we're taking the Airstream, and that's what we're going to live in.
Danny says, family health, world peace. I only want these two. Here we are in 2017. Come on, we should have peace. It seems like we're going the opposite way right now, but I of course like agree with you. I have always said, I even said it recently, that when I was younger, I always had this utopic idea that, why is there even war in the world? Like we're always hearing about this Palestinian, Iranian conflict, which seems so crazy, and it should have been resolved by now. And if people
Israel
were
and
just
Palestine.
If people were just able to sit down and talk about all that situation, they should be able to talk it out and not keep killing each other anymore. But again, not to get too political, what is happening right now in the U.S. has opened my eyes and made me realize that it's actually very, very difficult. Look what I did to my mic. When did that happen? It should be.
Oh God, here. Can they even hear you?
Oh, they can hear me fine.
Okay.
They would have said something by now. Has opened my eyes to.
Maybe they're just looking at your pretty face.
Right.
Not even...
They are all lip readers.
Yeah.
Has opened my eyes to the fact that it's not that easy between humans, because we talked about the dual reality just recently, and
it baffles our mind every day. We were just talking about it again today.
Problems seem to be impossible to talk through the way things are right now, because people have such extreme perceptions of the current reality that it's really, we're this close to starting a new YouTube channel that would be called Dual Reality, and we would post videos where we talk about all those problems related to how we can see the current reality in such extremely different ways, because it is really mind-boggling. Michael says, I'll bring some good fresh Canadian tap water. Yes, sir. I think you're referring to our episode about tap versus bottled water.
Yeah, because he had that discussion with us about that.
Yes. So
we don't even, as we said to you in the comments, we don't even drink the water in this house because it's well water. It's not been tested, and who knows?
Well, we tested it, but our test is very, basic. It's not extensive testing.
Danny Man said family, health, world peace. I only want those two. Oh, we already said that. And
my hope is to be able to enjoy retirement. If I can do that and my wife and myself are happy, then mission accomplished.
I don't even plan to retire. I feel like you and I
feel like I'm already retired.
No,
I do what I want.
I don't feel retired. But
and
I have talked about that before. I kind of think that retirement is kind of wacky because you get to retire by the time you aren't able to do as much as you could, which I think is part of the millennial. Oh, sorry.
What?
I just spit.
Oh, you did?
Part of the millennials'
Not
desire.
enough resolution for that, so you shouldn't worry about it.
The millennials' desire to travel and live minimalistically and to be financially secure are all dreams that people used to have for retirement. And I do see my friends, I mean, we're on the verge of Generation X and millennials, but some of my friends, like Justin, for instance, also wants to just basically live a happy life as a younger person, because when you get older, first of all, getting older is not guaranteed. And I know people, and that can make me emotional when I talk about it, who planned their retirement out. They had everything saved, financially secure, and then retirement comes along and huge accident, and they didn't get that dream. Now, well, they should have been doing all of that when they were younger. But who can think of that? And no, nobody can ever plan for, like, worst case scenario. But I do believe that you should just live every day like today is making me happy, not planning for 20 years from now.
Absolutely, super agreed. You can hope for the best but prepare for the worst, right? That's the smart saying. I'm so smart sometimes. Meredith says traveling would be nice but paying off debt, but do see it happening sooner than later. Just need to not wait. Glad to see it can happen if you take small steps like you guys have achieved. Secretly looking at Airstream now. Not so secretly anymore. If you say that in front of 6 people, it's like the whole Western Hemisphere is gonna know.
You know what she just said about seeing it happen sooner rather than later? This actually is reminding me of Jurgen, our friend Jurgen.
Yeah. Oh, he's
so Jurgen. I don't even know if I should say his name, but I think
badass homesteader.
He posted this on his channel, right? Jurgen was basically in high debt as a 30-something-year-old engineer.
What an amazing guy.
He had huge student loans. He had huge credit card bills and other things. And he said somebody basically slapped some sense into him one day and said, you know what, you need to get out of this situation before it's too late. And so he basically, I don't know if he said this stuff, but he basically found a very savvy and cheap way to live for a year.
Yes.
And he completely not only paid his debt, basically he was not living in a house, but he was living in a structure. And he found a way to completely pay off his debt and save enough money that at 34 years old, right, he retired. And now he invests in properties and helps, he basically lives on real estate. That
you guys can see him in our last moving to Philadelphia clickbait title vlog post. So
in his house that he wanted wanted you to rent.
Right.
Not me. I'm not renting that house.
Michael says, I want to live on a sailboat full time and travel between Great Lakes in the summer and the Caribbean in the winter. I've done the research and it's surprisingly affordable. That sounds amazing.
So that last sentence, I've done the research and it's surprisingly affordable. I think that is what surprises me the most about millennials, and when we're seeing these people on YouTube, like The Way Away, Endless Adventure. These are people who are younger than us, who basically,
Jealous.
yeah, younger than us. They had relatively good jobs. Not, it didn't seem like they were millionaires. They weren't extravagant. They're not trust fund kids, but they saved enough money to travel very frugally. Like that's what they're doing.
Frugally.
They are. They have mobile
Freely.
jobs, so maybe they're designing websites. I don't know exactly what they do. They're designing websites. They're doing this or that. They have a YouTube channel that, in one period of 2 months, I saw one grow from 5,000 to 13,000. Now
Jealous again.
it's probably 20,000. And what are they doing? All they're doing is traveling, and they're living frugally. They're not traveling and living crazy, but they're spending the same amount of money that they would be spending on rent. They're spending it on hotel rooms that are very affordable. Right now they're in Mexico, and they're traveling. I mean, to me, the American dream is to be happy.
I do see our travel episodes having more views than the ones that are kind of shot all around here. That's why I've been also doing the recent ones as kind of clustered together when there are days where just like there's very little adventure and we're just around the house. So, you know, there's just not enough super interesting stuff to share. And whenever we do go somewhere, those kind of pick up again and get more views, and that's when the channel is building up. I think that's why, you know, they are taking off so crazy because they keep going to those really interesting places, traveling through Mexico and Thailand and God knows what, and posting all these really cool videos, which is something we desperately want to do. That's why the channel was started. And right now we can't do it right now because of your current treatment. We're going to be grounded for like another month and a half or whatever. But, you know, this is the long-term plan. We're building up the subscriber count right now, the viewership, hoping that those live videos will help with that a little bit, and then
the most that you can help is actually sharing
that
our
camera's
videos.
dead.
Oh,
only this one works.
Sharing our videos. Oh, I keep looking at it too. Sharing our videos and telling people about us and hoping that more people see us, right?
Yeah, what can we do? Can we do a contest, a giveaway, a survey, a poll, a you know, live psychological test or something, or a game?
You know what? I would like some really harsh critique from the people who love us to maybe write us privately and tell us, especially if you watch other people similar to us, and tell us what is interesting about us and what is not interesting about us. And we can eliminate by just not publishing the boring parts.
See, Meredith says, traveling episodes very inspiring, best ones to watch for me. So that confirms what I just said. Michael says, initially I found you guys because I was looking for Airstream videos, and Airstream is my alternate plan to the sailboat. You should really consider it because there's many models of Airstream. There's like something for everyone, basically.
We actually just found the Airstream that the Metallica guy owned is for sale on eBay right now.
Lars Ulrich owned it.
Oh no, this camera's about to die.
Uh-oh.
Now
I think we have to end.
Oh, okay.
Guys, it's been only for almost 40 minutes anyway, so we're going to say goodbye before this battery dies. We're going to be better prepared tomorrow.
We have Airstream plans in the works, and we'll
Absolutely.
comment.
Absolutely. We do. More about that later. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.